We are on the fourth and final personality type, or the major personality types. Okay, and that will be our yellows. All right, so you guys are analytical masters, yellow personality. All right, so we're going to jump right into this section here. All right, so you're analytical, and that just means that you care about being accurate, okay? You care about being accurate. You're cautious in your language and what you say. You're very logical, so you're going to think everything through before you make statements or before you make decisions. All right, so you're contemplative. And that just means that you're taking your time, you're thinking everything through, you're just making sure that you're accurate. Like, that's the most important thing to you. Okay, so let's move on. Alright, so yellow personalities, you are very reserved and task oriented. So when you do sit down to get something done, you focus on it, and you also focus on the facts, the rules, and the data. And you can predict successful outcomes. So you're not very motivated by just grandiose ideas. You really want to see how it's going to roll out based on the facts, the figures, and the data. So you're not the person to talk to about your dreams or hopes. You really want to know what the outcomes could be based on the information you have. So before you make any type of decisions, you must have enough information to base that decision off of. Okay? Alright, so as a yellow personality analytical master, you're very detailed. Okay, you're very fact driven, and you're critical, right, and pessimistic, and perceptive, and data driven. So detailed, that just means that you're not going to rush and do anything. You want to take your time and think about it, make sure it's correct, and make sure it's what you want to put out. Then you're gonna go over that a couple of times. You may be the type of person who might sleep on an idea, wake up just to make sure that you're not overseeing anything, and you're going to take your time and make sure all of those details are correct and accurate. Again, you're fact driven. You also like a lot of shows about different facts and stuff like that. So you'll be one of those people who would watch a lot of things just to know different things. But if you were working on a project within a business or even within a corporation, you definitely will be the go-to person for the data to be drawn as to whether or not decisions are going to be good decisions or not. All right, again, that criticalness, that means that you are pretty critical in your judgment. So you don't bite your tongue. You pretty much say, I don't think it's going to work because A, B, and C. So you're not a dream killer as far as just telling people that things aren't going to work, but you do have reason and data behind your decisions when you say something's not going to work or when you can see how it could work. All right, so again, pessimistic. You're not that person that, like our green personalities, full of a lot of energy and just always work in a room. You're definitely the kind of person who is more pessimistic in a way that you want to make sure that you walk in the room, you understand the environment, you see what's going on inside of that room. You want to make sure that whenever you do present anything, even if it's just shaking someone's hand, that you have their name accurate, you have their position accurate. You also want to make sure that you observe everything so that you can present yourself in a way that is definitely accurate. So again, that perceptive, that means you do think deeply about things, and when I say think deeply, you're not just sitting around thinking, you are researching. You are, if someone says something to you, you want to look it up to see if it's true. Right? So then again, data driven, to make sure that every decision you make is an accurate decision. So yellow personality, you are an expert. So that means that you definitely can take whatever you say to the bank, because it is something that is true. It is something that has been researched. It is something that can be backed up with logical explanations based on research. All right, again, you're accurate. And I continue to say accurate because that is a pet peeve for you. You want the whole world to be accurate. You want everything that's said to be accurate. Even in joking conversations, you want every little part to be accurate. So hopefully, as you do recognize your personality, you can realize that there are other personality types out there, and you will be able to know when you're talking to your red. You'll know when you're talking to your blue, and you'll also know when you're talking to your green. So you can't expect an expressive personality to be really completely accurate on everything, but you would make a good part of a team with them, and just you going over the information to make sure, and then maybe pinpointing to them where they missed it. Okay, so that would be a great thing. But also, again, like I said, be very cautious in in how you interact with others when it comes to your expertise in analytics and things of that nature, because other people do have different personalities, and you can kind of stand back and see the different kinds of personalities and know who you're dealing with, so you can know how to approach them to tell them they're wrong. Okay, all right. So then when we're dealing with the yellow, you are a predictor, so you can predict what's coming up, because sometimes it's all the research that you do. Other times, because you're so good at probability, you can kind of factor things out in your head and see whether or not something's really good or not. All right, so then also informative. So you are going to provide a lot of information as to why you came up with your idea. If someone is waiting on you to move very quickly and making a decision, they might as well go home, because you're not going to do it under any circumstance. You're going to take your time. You're going to think about it. You're going to analyze it. You're going to research it. You're going to sit there and take your time making your decision and saying and putting out information. All right, so you're very focused when you are fact checking and all this stuff. You kind of get aggravated when you get interrupted, because you are focused on whatever it is that you want to do, and whatever you want to study, and whatever you want to learn about, and whatever you want to predict next. Okay.